Hello, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I've got a comparison video and also a review video. So it's more like a wig chat, and we're going to take a look at 3 styles new to Belle Tress. Thank you, Shirley's Wig Shop, for providing these 3 styles for me so I could compare and review them. The link to all 3 styles will be listed down below for you in the description box. The 3 styles that I have today, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, are Mara, McQueen, and Saint. I've already reviewed Mara, but when I looked at Saint and McQueen, I thought, well, what is really the difference between them? The one I'm wearing is Mara. When I looked at these 3 styles on the website, I thought that they looked or they appear to be pretty similar. Of course, there are differences between them. And when I take them and I put them side by side, I thought, well, my personal preference is Mara because I prefer the sleek style. I prefer that it just seems not as with as much volume, for example, as McQueen. It seems longer than we see on Saint. Then my next thing was, let me take a look at the measurements. And when I look at the side measurements, they're very, very close, 10 or 11 inches. So there's really no difference there. However, that is referring to the side. It's not referring to the front. The next thing that some may look at, I personally do not look at the nape. Unless I'm looking at a pixie, the nape really makes absolutely no difference to me whatsoever. I take a look at the style and I take a look at the overall. I look at the sides, and that's really what I concentrate on. Maybe you look at the nape, so I thought I would include it on here. If we look at the nape on the 3 of them, it shows that Mara has 3.5 inches while McQueen and Saint have 5 inches. In the whole realm of things, unless I'm looking at a pixie because I have such a low hairline, really the nape makes no difference, as I mentioned before. And then when we look at the overall on Mara is 10.5 inches, while on Saint is 12 inches, so they're pretty close. And then on McQueen, we see that it's 11 to 14 inches, and that is an indication that it's going to have some layers. So the longest will be McQueen because the longest piece on McQueen is 14 inches. As far as the weight is concerned, they weigh about the same thing, 3.1 ounce on Mara and which is the lightest, and 3.4 ounces on Saint, which is the highest weight. These are from the LUX collection, so they have a hand-tied cap. We have an ear-to-ear lace front. We have a full mono top, 100% lace, 100% hand-tied cap, and we have a non-extended nape with pull-type adjusters. The caps, I know it's going to fit very well, probably on the larger end of average, and I know there's not going to be any permatease because we do have a hand-tied cap. So I know that the caps are going to be the same. I know that the lace front is going to be impeccable. Belle Tress is one of the brands that I wear the most, and I have rarely had any issues whatsoever with the Belle Tress. This Mara that I'm wearing is in rich chocolate brown. I love this color. As you can see, it is a beautiful, beautiful lace front, even on a dark color. All right, let's take a look at all sides of Mara. And just what I thought when I looked at the stock photo on Mara, I thought it was spot on. We do have, just as I thought, some layering on the front that we could see on the stock photo. The sides on Mara say 10 inches, and I believe that because my face is 7 3/4 from hairline to chin. My neck is 5 inches. So I believe the sides, they're correct on there, being 10 inches, and that is my perfect length for one of these bobs. It's also very sleek, just what I thought it would be, and we do have some layers on the front which are not described. They're not disclosed on the specs, but we have them there, and that allows us to have a style that we can just feather back a little bit, and it is so flattering, so pretty. If you wanted to steam it, or you want to flat iron it, you want to add some curls to it, you can certainly do that because these are heat-friendly fibers. I think the style is spot on to what we see on the stock photo. Really, really pretty. And this is Saint in Rich Chocolate Brown. On Rich Chocolate Brown, we have a blend of 2, 4, 30, and we have a root of 4. According to BELLE TRESS, the description on Rich Chocolate Brown on the 2, 4, 30 plus 4 is an off black, which is the 2, a deep warm brown, that would be the 4, and we have caramel highlights, which is the 30. This is the same color as the Mara that I just had on. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful color from BELLE TRESS. Very similar as we find on Shaded Hazelnut from Raquel Welch. Now, as you can see, it almost seems to be a little bit longer on the back, while we have all of these layers on the front. And I'll add the stock photo on the corner so you can compare how they each look. We have lots of layering here on Saint. It's not disclosed in the specs, but once you see it, see, here are some very short layers which provide the volume because we don't have any permatease, and this is a good way to provide volume on a hand-tied cap. When we have, otherwise we would just have, just like Mara, we would just have a one sleek style. And by adding those layers, we differ the style a little bit, but they also give us the opportunity to have a little bit more volume. So if you wanted to add the volume there on Saint, you could do it due to all of the layers that we have. Lots of layers right here on the front and layers on the back. Of course, you can straighten this if you'd like. And for those of you that prefer chocolate buttercream, here is Saint in chocolate buttercream. On chocolate buttercream, we have 825 plus 4. We have a golden brown. They're calling it a bronze highlight. I don't agree with the bronze highlight. This almost seems, some parts of that blonde appear pale, some other parts appears really ashy. And I haven't done any styling to these, therefore it's going to have a little bit of box hair. It's going to want to go where they were in the box, but I wanted to give you an idea on how it looked. And here is McQueen in Rich Chocolate Brown R. I'll add the picture of the stock photo so you can compare. With McQueen, the measurements that we were given were sides of 11 inches. But once again, we have those layers. Remember, this is the one that said the measurements, the overall, were 11 inches to 14 inches, but there are shorter layers here. Once again, it provides the volume. Lots of layering throughout, but you can also just sleek it down, and the back is going to be the longest portion. The crown is probably the 14-inch that they're referring to it. They just pull down on the fibers in order to get an accurate measurement. Then, of course, if you want to curl it, it's going to be shorter. But I think that's a given. And it doesn't appear as poofy, I guess. It doesn't appear to have as much volume at the top as I thought it would. You could certainly wear it sleek. If you prefer one, if you were trying to decide on which one you wanted, If you're wanting a little bit longer style, then I think McQueen is the way to go, because you're getting also the same layer effects on the front, but you're getting a little bit longer on the back. And I'll turn around. Now these, it feels as if the back is flipping a little bit, but of course you could always straighten it. I think it is really, really pretty. Look how pretty that feathering is kind of like on the side. It does not feel heavy at all. Very light density on all three pieces. And here is McQueen in chocolate buttercream. I wanted to end up with this one just for those of you that wanted to see McQueen in this color. We do have those lighter fibers on the front, a little bit more of that blonde on the front. Again, I don't agree that it's bronze. I think it looks more like a pale ashy type blonde, because we have all of these extra layers. I think that if you're wanting to have a style that has a little bit more volume, then we usually find on BELLE TRESS McQuEEN is a good way to go, even though it's not a straight bob as we found on Mara, because we do have those longer layers in the back. Similarities. All three are from BELLE TRESS from the LUX collection. All three have about the same price point. All three fit an average on the larger end of average, and all three have a fully hand-tied cap with full mono top and an ear-to-ear lace front. So none of them have permatease. So the one with the lightest density and the least amount of layers is this one. This is Mara. So we just have a little bit of layers on the front. Very sleek style. Same length basically all around. However, if you prefer a little bit longer style than we find on Mara, you want a little bit more volume, because here on McQueen, we're going to have all of these layers. You prefer the layers and a little bit more volume, a little longer in the back, then McQueen is the one to go with. And if you prefer one that has a little bit higher density, not by much, but just a little bit more, and you want more layers, then Saint is the one to go with. It definitely has a little bit higher density, especially right up here. Some may love it and some may not. It's really a matter of taste. The length is going to be almost exactly the same as the others. Thank you, everyone. Let me know if you have a preference between Mara, Saint, and McQueen. I would love to hear from you. Once again, thank you, Shirley's Wig Shop, for providing these styles for me so I could review and compare them. I hope that everyone is having a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye.